Hello, I'm Susanna, and this is my therapeutic craft presentation. My project is called Fishing for Motor Skills. I chose this craft because I wanted to see how I could build something that could help people with motor skills, hand-eye coordination, accuracy, and range of motion. The occupations involved are ADLs, which are activities of daily living, instrumental activities of daily living, work, play, leisure, and social participation. The tools used were pipe cleaners, scissors, pool noodles, string, hangers, and a Sharpie. The equipment used were the kiddie pool and the water hose. I worked on this therapeutic craft inside my office on the floor with some natural lighting and would turn on the lights as needed. I needed enough space to maneuver the pool noodles since they're pretty long, and then I needed space for my 31 fish. I made different color fish with different color and size pipe cleaners to make the experience more difficult and then easier depending on which fish to catch. I started off by cutting the pool noodles into 5 to 6 inch long fish, and for the fishing poles, I made sure to leave them at least 3 feet in length. I then cut the pipe cleaners in different lengths so that they would be easier or more difficult to catch. I then broke the hangers so that I could keep the hook part and use it as my fishing hook. And then I made a hole in the fishing poles and then tied the string through the holes and then tied them onto the hangers. I was fortunate to have my daughter assist me with this project as I put it to the test outside in the water and inside the kiddie pool. She wanted to help me put the water inside the pool and then help me put all of the fish inside the pool. She was also a trooper when it came to letting me explain to her exactly how to play the game, where to position her hands, and what I needed her to do when she reeled the fish in. I had about 1.5 to 2 hours to work on this project every week when my husband got home until it was time to cook dinner. I counted the time that I had to get the supplies as well. My mental focus was great. I put on some music so that I could keep a pace and not take too long. I made sure to pay attention to how I grabbed the scissors, how far to cut the pool noodle. I used joint and mobility and stability as I extended my arms to measure how it would look like to actually be in a standing or a sitting position to fish. I pretended to reel in the fish by twisting the pole and to extend my arm far away from me while I casted the pole. I examined my motor reflexes as I practiced picking up the fish with the fishing pole before actually setting it up outside. I made sure to hold the pole with two hands, with one hand towards the end of the pole and one towards the middle of the pole. I also practiced to fish with one hand and found it to be a little bit more difficult to balance and keep good eye-hand coordination. For voice and speech functions, I practiced giving myself instructions as if I was speaking to a client, and then I performed those tasks myself. This therapeutic craft requires the use of the brain, the spinal cord, eyes, ears, hands, feet, legs, arms, and core. While performing this activity, I had to look where I was aiming and turn my head left and right. I had to move my arms and have good range of motion to be able to reach where I placed the fish, whether it was closer or farther away from me. I had to use my legs to walk closer to the fish around the pool as well as lean in for better aim to catch a fish. All of the body movements and functions were sparked by messages from the brain and spinal cord to different parts of my body. When I put the practice in the pool with water, it was a different story. The fish would flip upside down and the pipe cleaners would hide underwater. Also, the fish would float away depending on the movement of the water. I learned that it was easier to catch the fish by casting the fishing pole and letting it sink to the bottom next to the pipe cleaner and then hooking it in and reeling the fish in by twisting the pole. This related to my personal performance patterns because it made me think of how to make other things in my life easier and how I could change the way I did a few things because I could practice on different days and see the outcome each day. Two main body structures that I use in this activity were my arms and my hands. I used my arms by reaching the fish that were to the left or right or farther from me. I used my hands to hold the fishing pole and twist the pole to reel in the fish. I also used my hands to unhook the fish from the hanger when catching it. And two essential body functions that I used were the extension of my arms and the twisting of my wrists. three critical performance skills from this therapeutic craft are motor skills, social interaction, and process skills. For motor skills, I had to aim and cast the fishing pole, twisting the pole to reel in the fish, and pinching the pipe cleaner out of the hook to try and catch a new fish. For social interaction, I practiced giving instructions on how to play the game to myself and to my daughter. I played the game with the daughter to create a bond and a lesson on fishing at the same time. This helps with having confidence to lead an event or an activity for when I encounter clients. For process skills, I had to organize my time, my space, and my objects to begin preparing for the therapeutic craft, as well as learn how to maneuver the fishing pole and hanger to catch the fish easier. One thing to look out for with safety hazards is the pipe cleaners poke in the fingers when I pass them through the pool noodles to make the fish. Another thing was not to slip and fall with the water that would splash out of the kiddie pool. To grate down, a client would use a chair to sit instead of stand and not risk falling down. One way to grade up would be to make the fishing pole shorter so that the person is forced to get up and move around, lean into the pool a little bit, and stretch their arms. The therapeutic outcome was enhancement. I do not have a performance limitation, but it did help me get better practicing at completing this activity. It helped me critically analyze the task from start to finish to see the ways in which I could make it better for myself and for others. Thanks for watching.